So Klarna just had its first ever earnings call as a public company. And, these things can be pretty dry. But this was different. It was way more than just numbers. It was basically a manifesto, a step-by-step playbook for how its CEO thinks AI and a total obsession with customers are about to blow up the entire world of banking and big tech. And it really all starts with this one powerful idea from the CEO, Sebastian Siemiatkowski. His whole argument is that for decades, banks have made a ton of money from us being confused. Hidden fees, statements you can't understand. Klarna is betting everything on the idea that that whole era is coming to a very abrupt end. So you've got this stark contrast, right? On one side, you have the old world of banking. Think marble offices and minimizing customer service. I mean, we've all been stuck on hold for 45 minutes, right? But on the other side, there's this new world. It's all about AI assistance and this idea that trust, not data, is the new oil. It's the most valuable thing you can have. So what's really forcing this change? Well, according to Klarna, those protective walls, the moats that have basically guaranteed profits for big banks and tech giants for decades, they're starting to crumble. The quiet life is officially over. Just think about it for a second. It used to be a massive pain to switch your bank account, right? Klarna's CEO literally calls that idea nostalgia. He sees a future where your own personal AI agent can just instantly move all your financial history and preferences to whatever company is giving you a better deal. And here's the crucial part. The moats are drained. In this new super competitive world, if you get complacent, it's pretty much the end of your business. Okay, so if your data can be moved around freely by AI, it's not the ultimate competitive advantage anymore. So what is? Well, for Klarna, the answer is simple. It's trust. And check this out. This is a perfect example of how they actually build that trust. On the left, that's a credit card statement we've all seen. Some weird merchant name and a number. But on the right, that's Klarna's purchase history. Because Klarna is the only payments network that captures item-level data, it can show you a picture of the exact shoes you bought, right down to the size and color. That kind of clarity, that's how you earn trust. And this isn't just some vague philosophy they talk about. No. It's an industrial-scale machine. Every single week, Klarna is doing over 200 consumer interviews and visually inspecting 5,000 different customer interactions. That whole process generates about 75 real, actionable insights, which then leads to 20 actual product improvements that get shipped to customers every week.
So here's the key takeaway. While AI is going to make customer data flow like water, it's that relentless hard work, that machine we just saw. That's how Klarna plans to earn the kind of trust that data by itself can never, ever buy.
All right, so with that foundation of trust, let's get into the nitty-gritty. How does Klarna plan to turn this vision into actual global dominance? Well, it's a concrete three-part plan. And the strategy is incredibly clear and easy to follow. Step 1, be everywhere. The goal is literally for Klarna to be an option anywhere you can use a Visa card. Step 2, offer everything. So at every single one of those merchants, customers can choose any Klarna payment option they want. Pay now, pay later, financing, you name it. And then, step 3, evolve from just being a payment button into a full-blown neobank. And that first step, wow, it is already paying off big time. Just this quarter, they added a record 235,000 new merchants. And a lot of that is driven by new partnerships that make Klarna a default option with payment giants like Stripe. Okay, that is a fantastic story they're telling, but, you always have to check the receipts. So, does Klarna's third quarter financial report actually back up this super ambitious narrative? Let's take a look. And the first number that just jumps right off the page is this one: 51% year-over-year revenue growth in the United States. That's a massive signal that their strategy isn't just talk. It's getting some serious traction in a really important market. But if you're paying attention, you'd immediately ask, hang on a second, if revenue is shooting up 51%, why didn't their transaction margin, which is a key measure of how much profit they make on each transaction, why didn't that keep up? And the answer gets into a little bit of accounting, but it's actually pretty simple when you break it down. For their financing products, Klarna basically accounts for all the potential costs of a loan on day one, but the revenue from that same loan trickles in over months. It's a lot like a subscription business that pays to get a new customer upfront because they know the profits are going to compound over time. And look, you don't have to take my word for it. Klarna's own CFO said it directly on the call. He projected a huge jump, over $109 million in transaction margin for the very next quarter as that revenue starts to catch up. So this isn't a bug, it's a planned feature of their super fast growth. So now let's get to the end game. That third and most crucial objective. How do they turn a one-time payment user into a loyal, lifelong banking customer? Well, to understand that, we've got to look at their customer funnel. It all starts at the very top. Instead of blowing money on expensive ads, Klarna gets new users for cheap just by being an option at millions of online checkouts. It's an incredibly efficient model, and it's brought in 114 million active users. Okay, so the next step is to get you more invested, right? Klarna pushes those users to download their app so they can unlock more features. And so far, nearly 49 million monthly active users have already done just that, moving them one step deeper into the Klarna world. And this is where the magic really happens. This is the payoff. A typical active user brings in about $28 a year in revenue, but a user who goes all the way and gets the Klarna Card, that number explodes to $130. They become more than 4 times as valuable to the business. So what's the killer feature on the card? It's all about simple control. It brings back that old school choice, press 1 for debit, press 2 for credit. And this is specifically designed to appeal to what Klarna calls self-aware avoiders, that huge group of people out there who really hate the debt traps of traditional credit cards. And if you want a story that just perfectly captures their scrappy, challenger mindset, get this. As part of the card launch, the CEO himself got on social media and personally offered to physically cut up a customer's American Express card if they'd switch to Klarna. I mean, it's a bold stunt, but it shows you just how far they're willing to go. During the call, the CEO used this old Swedish proverb, one person's dead, another person's bread. He basically sees the massive trillion-dollar profit pools of the big legacy banks as an opportunity that's just ripe for the taking. And that really leaves us with one final big question. Is this relentless, AI-driven, customer-obsessed playbook truly the end of banking as we know it?